Okie doke. So speaking of some juicy games to come up now, Herc, there's two finals, cup finals coming up this Wednesday. Now, like I said, it's one day. And if I can only tune into one match, we've got the US Open Cup, LAFC up against Sporting Kansas City. And then we have the Campeones Cup, which is Columbus up against Club America. We might need to bring Mao back for this one because, they probably would like a cup. But tell me which one is the better matchup that's worth my time tuning into.
Well, the only one that's worth your time tuning into is the only one that's actually up for a real trophy, which is the Lamar Hunt US Open Cup. It's LAFC versus Sporting Kansas City. That one is for an actual trophy. That one gets you a spot in the CONCACAF Champions Cup next season. That one actually means you won something. Now, even though this is a watered-down version of the Lamar Hunt Open Cup, we still have to respect that it's the actual Open Cup, give it its place in history. The oldest tournament, sporting tournament in North America, in the United States, is this soccer tournament. You have to give it the respect it deserves. On one end, you've got a team in LAFC that is one of the premier soccer clubs in this country, in North America. They are that team. I can go through the star-studded roster, the players like Denny Bouanga, Olivier Giroud, the type of actual star-studded roster they have against what I think is I don't even want to say Cinderella story. I have no idea how Kansas City made it here, but it's a Kansas City team that's always difficult to play against, and you really don't know what to expect against Kansas City, against Sporting. A team with Johnny Russell, a team with Alan Pulido, who on their best day can absolutely make things difficult, and certainly given LAFC's inability to win finals, make it difficult for them. Out of all the finals, and I've lost count, you have to excuse me, my friends in Los Angeles, I've lost count of how many finals LAFC have been to. They've only won one. They won one, and they won it on penalty kicks, and they needed a Gareth Bale wonder goal in stoppage time to get them there. So while the favorite in this game will be the home team, will be LAFC, the better roster will be LAFC, the better coach at the moment will have Steve Cherundolo and LAFC at home. LAFC, I can't sit here and say I think LAFC will win. Something tells me those skeletons in that closet may creep out for Los Angeles, but certainly just based off of roster talent, based off of responsibility because of who they are, what they have, and where they will play this game, this is all LAFC's to lose. But Sporting's not going to make it easy for them, I'll tell you that much. So the game that I will look for, the game out of the two that I would watch if you could only watch one, is the actual game that means something, the actual game where there is a real, not made up trophy at hand.
We'll get to the Campeones Cup in a bit. Want to dive a little deeper into the two fixtures there. As you were right to mention, because this is Kansas City's first final, I believe, in about 7 years. But you mentioned such a perfect note there. We spoke about this a lot when we were covering the Leagues Cup. Just that little voodoo or hoodoo or whatever you want to call it that LAFC have when it comes to cup finals as well. And so does this open the door or help to, even though it's figuratively speaking, but that mental game and that almost the fact that those finals are kind of haunting LAFC, does that kind of bring Kansas City more into the mix of causing an upset?
Absolutely, because I'll tell you what's going to happen if this game is tight, Alexis. If this game is 0-0 at halftime, you're going to have players in that LAFC locker room who have been there. You're going to have John Thorrington, the president. You're going to have that fan base get anxious. You're going to have those players start looking around and saying, come on, we need a goal. We need one quick. And then the second half starts. And if it's still 0-0 going into a final 10 minutes, a final 5 minutes, whatever the case may be, every single minute that it goes into where they don't score a goal gives Kansas City that much more in confidence and honestly will make Kansas City that much more of favorites because those old demons will creep in. And those nervous thoughts, that lack of confidence will all of a sudden seep out in this game. And that is the only thing I can see stopping LAFC because they are the better team, player per player on this roster. They have the better individual talent. They've got the bigger stars, and they have the better coach, and they're at home. So they are the team that is favored, and for good reason.
Well, massive chance then for LAFC to put things right. But let's talk about the Campeones Cup because clearly you're a massive fan of this one. But the point is, Club America, are in it. And we talked about Club America in the Leagues Cup, the difficulties it was for the Mexican teams probably to buy into this one. Here is another, I suppose, Cup, as you put it there. What kind of team are you expecting them to field? How serious are you going to expect them to take this?
Well, I expect Columbus to take it very seriously because that is what Wilfred Nancy does and this Columbus crew do. They are one of the better teams you can watch to actually play football in this region. And I'm not talking about Major League Soccer. I am talking about North America. They are one of the best teams in this region. And whether it's Hagen or whether it's Patrick Schulte, whoever's in goal and whoever plays up top, and if it's just the players in that midfield like Darlington Nagbe, if it's just the players in that final third like Diego Rossi, like Cucho Hernandez, Christian Ramirez off the bench, they can hurt any team in this region. They are the more confident team at the moment out of the two because you look at the you look at the Liga MX side in Club America, and they started out this season out of 6 games, 4 losses, and they've got a lot of injuries right now trying to pick up health in a congested schedule. This is a game where Columbus is going to be a team that should be favored, and it probably has the healthier of the body, so it's going to be a tough one here, but certainly made-up trophy up for grabs, but certainly a game that I'll have an eye on for sure.
Ah, I like that. Of course. You know, Columbus don't go into anything lightly. They're going to win. They want blood.